Okay, this is lesson 3-4, solving multi-step inequalities. Case number 1, we're going to solve and graph 7 plus 6a is greater than 19. So I want you to copy that problem down, and then we're going to solve it together. Okay, the first thing that you're going to do is we want to get the a's on one side, numbers on the other. So here is my wall. Okay, so what do we have connected to the a is the 6a is a 7, so it's a positive, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. This becomes 0, it's gone. We still have 6a. We keep our inequality sign. 19 minus 7 is 12. Next step, we want to get a by itself. We want to get 1a, so how do you make it 1a? You're going to divide by 6, the number that's connected to the a. You're going to divide this one by 6. This is our large and in charge 1, so now we have 1a. We keep the sign because we divided by a positive. 6 will go into 12 2 times. Okay, there's our answer solution. Now we're going to go through and we're going to graph it. You're going to draw a number line. And I'm just going to go positive 2 here, negative 2 here. My number line has arrows on both sides. Okay, I look at the inequality and I find the number that we solved for, which is 2. So I'm going to put my point at 2. And because there's no line under it, it's an open circle. And then I go back and I read it like a book. A is, it's on the big side of the absolute value, so a is bigger than or greater than 2. So I'm going to draw my line greater than 2. So it's all the numbers that are greater than 2, but not equal to 2. Okay, that was number 1. Number 2, we're going to solve and graph. Okay, this one's multiple steps. First thing we need to do is we're going to do our distributive property. So we're going to go 2 times t is 2t. 2 times 2, and they're both positive, is positive 4. Minus 3t, or a negative 3t, is greater than or equal to negative 1. Alright, here's our wall. What on this side of the wall can be combined? We can combine the t's together. That minus sign is also a negative sign. It goes with the 3. So we have a negative 3 and a positive 2. We need to subtract first. 3 minus 2 is 1, and it's going to be negative 1t plus 4. We keep the inequality sign for now, the same one that we started with, negative 1. Okay, now we are going to disconnect the 4 from the t, so this is positive 4. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. This is a 0. It's now gone. Negative t is greater than or equal to, and I'm going to add these together, which is negative 5. Okay, remember you can never solve for a negative, so we're going to put our invisible 1 here, and then I'm going to divide everything by a negative 1. What I do to one side of our inequality, we have to also do to the other side. Negative and negative is a positive 1, so again another large and in charge 1. When you divide by a negative number, we need to make sure that we do not forget to switch our sign in the other direction. Negative and negative is positive 5. Okay, so this is our solution. T is less than or equal to 5. And I asked you to graph it. So again, we'll make a number line with the 5 because that's our beginning number. And I'll go ahead and put a -5 over here. Our number line has arrows in both ends. Okay, we look at the inequality and I say, okay, I'm going to start at 5 and it's going to be a closed circle because 5 is part of my answer. And then I'm going to draw my line or my arrow in the direction of the smaller numbers because t is on the smaller side. So t is on the smaller side of my inequality. So all the numbers that are smaller than 5 or less than 5 go this way. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, again, we're going to solve and graph. Okay, we have our equation 6x minus 15 is less than 4x plus 11. Here's our wall. Okay, is there anything over here that can be combined? The 6x and the 15, no. Anything over here that can be combined? 4x and 11, no. So therefore, I'm just going to start moving things across the inequality sign so that I can get an x by itself. So my first step for me is I'm going to move my 4x to the other side. I'm going to subtract 4x because that was positive. I'm making a negative. The opposite, so that's gone. 6 minus 4 is 2x. I still have 15. I keep my inequality sign for now until I decide if I need to flip it. And I have an 11. Then I'm going to disconnect the 15 from the 2x by adding 15 to both sides. Again, this is 0. I have 2x is greater than, and I add these together, I get 26. Okay, my next step will be to divide by 2, both sides of my inequality sign. Do I need to flip this sign around? The answer is no, because we divided by a positive, not by a negative, so I'm going to keep my sign just like it is. And 2 will go into 2 once, 2 will go into 6 3 times. So I've got x is less than 13. Again, we're going to graph it. Make my number line. I'm going to put a 13 here. And I'll go ahead and put a -13 on the other side. My beginning point is 13. And it is an open circle because there's no line under it. Then I go back and I read it like a book. X is on the little side of the inequality, so x is littler than or less than 13. So all the numbers in that direction would be answers to our solution, except 13 does not include it because it's not equal to 13. Okay, number 14. Oh, sorry about that. We're going to solve and graph. Okay, this one is multiple steps. There's 2 distributive properties that we need to do. So the first one let's do is -3 times 4, which is -12. -3 times, and there's an invisible one here, -3 times -1 is +3, and there's an m. Keep the inequality sign. Now let's do the other distributive property. 2 times 4 is 8, and there's an m with that. 2 times -14, positive times a negative is a negative, and it's 28. Okay, there's your first step. Then we look and say, okay, here's my inequality. This is my wall. Is there anything over here that can be combined? No. Is there anything over here that we can combine or put together? No. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting my m's on one side, numbers on the other. And in this case, I'm going to start with my m once again, but this time I'm going to move my m to the right side. So I'm going to subtract 3m, because this is a positive. I'm going to do the opposite, minus 3m. And I'm going to minus 3m here. Oh. Okay, so it's gone over here. It's a 0. I still have negative 12. I'm going to keep my inequality sign for now to see if I have to switch it. And now I have 8 minus 3 is 5m. Okay, the reason why I chose to move my m to this side was because when I was looking at it, I realized I was going to end up with a positive 5 instead of a negative 5, and I think a positive 5 is easier to work with. Okay, now I still have my negative 28. Okay, my next step is move the 28 to the other side by adding 28. Let me fix that. Okay, so I'm adding 28 to both sides. It's gone over here. It's a 0. I still have my 5m. I'm going to keep my sign. And now, because they're two different signs, I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to subtract. I'm going to take 28 minus 12. So 8 minus 12 is 6. And then, or 8 minus 2 is 6. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So I have 16 over here. And it's positive 16 because 28 is bigger. Okay, the last step, I'm going to divide both sides by 5 to get a 1, because this is my larger than charge 1. So now I'm going to move down just a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so now I have an m over here. I keep the sign because I divide it by a positive, not a negative. And then I'm going to go ahead and simplify this because I need to graph it. So 5 will go into 16 3 times, because 3 times 5 is 15, and there's 1 left over, and I'm going to write it as a fraction, as the remainder's at the top, and I use my denominator for my bottom of my fraction. So I am going to graph my solution, which is m is larger than or equal to 3 1/5. Draw my number line. Here's my 0. I'm going to go ahead this time and write a 3 and also a 4. And on the other side, I'll go ahead and put a negative 3 and a negative 4. Okay, I begin at 3 1/5. Well, here's 3, and it's just a little bit beyond 3, so I'm just going to go ahead and estimate and say it's about right here, and it's going to be a solid circle because there's a line under it. And then I'm going to read it like a book. I'm going to say, okay, m is, it's on the big side, so m is bigger than 3 1/5, so it's going to go in that direction to the bigger numbers. Okay, so that was lesson 3-4, solving multiple step inequalities.